My name is Zach Wahls, and mostly I'm just incredibly impressed that you were all here given how much fun you had at Universal Studios last night. Did you guys have a good time? Good. I'd like to begin this morning by just thanking the BBYO organizers who made this international conference possible. Will you all please join me in giving them a big round of applause? Make sure they can hear you. Thank you. Now, I've been very struck by the Together We Will theme because it's so important for us to understand the challenges that face all young people as a generation. We will have to work together to overcome the international struggle against climate change, to protect religious and ethnic minorities, and to continue to advance causes like Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ rights, and ending gun violence in the United States of America. I hope that that theme has resonated with you too. It sure sounds like it. And I hope that you're starting to give some thought to who you will work with to make the change that you want to see in the world when you go home. Now, for some of you, that may mean speaking out in favor of common sense gun safety reform that will end the epidemic of gun violence here in the United States. Yesterday, I had the chance to listen in on a conversation that many of you had with my friend Jason Kander. Isn't he great? And I want every single one of you to know that you will be the most effective advocates for gun safety reform that this country has ever seen. We have the opportunity together to push for common sense gun reform and to end gun violence in the United States of America. So thank you all so much for your passion on that issue. Now, the reason I'm on stage this morning talking with you today is because for the last 7 years, I've been an advocate, unexpectedly, for LGBTQ rights. As was mentioned in the introduction, I grew up with lesbian parents a little bit before it was cool. We didn't have TV shows like Modern Family when I was growing up. Any Modern Family fans in the house? I know I'm from Iowa, and when our state legalized same-sex marriage in 2009, it was a really big deal. My moms had their official wedding ceremony, and I got to be the best man at their wedding. It was really special for us as a family. They walked down the aisle to the theme song from Star Trek, to Boldly Go Where No Man Had Gone Before, literally in their case. It was a very happy moment for our family, and we thought that our struggle was over. I was not planning to become an activist because I thought that we were in pretty good shape, and we were wrong. Just 2 years later, there was an effort to repeal same-sex marriage in Iowa, and when that happened, a call went out across our state asking for people to come to the capital of Iowa to testify against this repeal. And when I heard that call, I knew that I had to go and say something for a very simple reason. I knew I had to go because I will never forget how I felt when I was 13 years old, a little younger than you are right now, and I had to watch the Republican National Convention for a homework assignment. And this isn't to bash Republicans, but I had to listen to politicians describe the war in Iraq and radical Islamic terror in one breath, and families like mine in the next. I remember feeling scared and confused and alone. And like the government was coming for me and for my family and families like ours. So in 2011, when this ban on same-sex marriage was being proposed, I thought back to how I had felt as an 8th grader, and I knew that I had to say something. I was only 19 years old, but I knew that 8th grade me would have been incredibly upset at college sophomore me if I didn't stand and fight for my family. So I figured out what I wanted to say. I got in my Pontiac Grand Am, I drove to our state capitol, and I said what I had to say. And about 36 hours later, my life was turned upside down. It was a snow day, and so I was planning to just chill out and play some video games. But unbeknownst to me, somebody had recorded a video of my speech and uploaded it to YouTube, and the next thing I know, on that snowy morning, I got a phone call asking me to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show. That was my reaction too. It was pretty cool. And then MSNBC called, and then CBS called, and then like a bunch of shows that I had never even heard of, and all of a sudden, it quickly became clear to me that this was going to be the single most stressful snow day of my entire life. The speech went on to become YouTube's most watched political video of the year, and I went on, oh, well, thank you. And literally overnight, I became the poster child for same-sex marriage in Iowa, and I went on to speak all over our state talking about families like ours, to advocate on a national level for other families like mine, and to lead the fight to end discrimination in the Boy Scouts of America and their ban against gay members, and we won. Now, I'm not telling you all of this to brag about how cool I am and all of my accomplishments. What I want you to understand is that as important as it is for us to work together to make the world a better place, you should never, ever underestimate your ability as an individual to change the world when you stand up for what is right. Now, for our generation, having smartphones and video cameras on almost all the time is just how we grew up. For our parents, they're still getting used to it. We're in a strange moment of transition where the videos we are recording are fundamentally changing how we understand the world, whether it's for Black Lives Matter or speeches about gay rights like mine, or what happened earlier this week at a high school right here in Florida. Even though having these cameras around us at all times feels normal to us, I just want you to think through what that really means. At any given moment, your words, your story, your experience can be recorded and shared and potentially go viral and change your life. And if that happens to you, or when that happens to you, that's when you put your team together and you work together to keep making change and transfer that moment into a movement. So in closing, as the conference is winding down and you're going home, wherever that may be, I was incredibly impressed at the list of countries that we have here today. Just remember that the words you speak and the stories you share are more powerful now than they've ever been before. And remember that you never know who is watching or what will happen next, and you just never know when you might have the most stressful snow day of your life. Thank you all so much, BBYO. Have a great one.